What's going on, guys? Sticks here with the Token Minorities, bringing you another deck on Pokemon TCGO, and today I am bringing you a legacy deck centered around the combination of Allergy, Panic, Vileplume, and Eeveelutions. And before I get into the deck, I just want to give a big shout out to the PokeBeach article that I got this from. I will link it in the description below. But also, if you are new to the channel here at TTM, we are a collaborative channel. So there is not only TCGO content, which is why you clicked on this video, we also have draft format content and occasionally Smogon or just fun stuff from Matty Brawlick. So if any of that interests you, please feel free to subscribe to us. And also, if you would like to, check out our Discord, which will also be linked in the description. We will have channels for all of draft format, the different teams that we have here at TTM, but also channels for TCGO and Smogon and other Pokemon related content. So yeah, feel free to check that out. And as always, if you like this video or found it helpful, please leave a like, drop a comment, click that subscribe button, helps out a ton, and lets us do more cool stuff for you guys. And as for the question of the day, this deck runs Tropical Beach, which for those of you that don't know, a lot of you do, but I'm just going to humor you. Once during each player's turn, that player may draw until he or she has 7 cards in his or her hand. If he or she does, that player's turn ends. So basically, it's just you end your turn by drawing until you have 7 cards in your hand. And it got me thinking, okay, there's a Worlds 2011 Tropical Beach in the game. There's also a Worlds 2012. So, do you guys think that Tropical Beach could or should come back to the standard format, and what impact do you think it would have if it did come back? Personally, I kind of like the fact that it's just a legacy card. I mean, it's just a way of, it's just kind of an end of the first turn thing. I mean, it's basically like Kiawe for the standard format. Like, you get something very powerful, but you have to end your turn in the process. It's like, I think it's like that Professor Oak card from Eeveelutions, if I remember correctly. That card was just so bad that nobody played it. I think that's exactly what Tropical Beach is, but in a stadium, so you get to play out your whole turn and then refill your hand at the end of your turn. You don't have to use your supporter for it. And do I think it could make a comeback in the standard format? I think it could potentially be seen, but I think that people might opt for stadiums that would be more powerful throughout the rest of the game. Because if there's one thing about the legacy format, it's that there's not a whole lot of stadiums that are particularly influential. I mean, there's Verbank, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, Verbank is freaking busted, especially when combined with Hypnotoxic Laser. But apart from that, there really aren't a whole lot of other stadiums that are very impactful. I believe, if I remember correctly, I think Frozen City is another one. Frozen City run in Plasma decks, Skyward Ridge run in basic decks that rely on Mons with 1 retreat cost, and then Burnt Tower, I believe, is the only other one I've seen. If there are any others, I apologize. Those are just the ones that I remember off the top of my head. But either way, the legacy format does not particularly rely on stadiums that much, so Tropical Beach can easily just fit in any deck that you're like, I don't run a stadium anyway, it's kind of a slower deck, yeah, I'm just going to Tropical Beach and get a handful of cards. But then also, in the current standard format, there are stadiums that work with almost every single type, so I think Tropical Beach could work, but I don't necessarily think that it would work or would replace stadiums that have that provide support throughout the battle as opposed to just that first couple turns or whenever you're stuck. So yeah, that's my opinion. Sorry about that. I talked for way too long about it. I'm going to go ahead and hop into the deck, but let me know what you guys think of Tropical Beach if it came back in the standard format and why. Love to hear your guys' thoughts. But anyway, onto the deck. Like I said, it is centered around the combination of Allergy, Panic, Vileplume, and Eeveelutions. What Allergy, Panic, Vileplume does is you apply weakness for each Pokemon as 4 times instead, and really what the whole premise of this deck is get a bunch of Pokemon that attack for a single energy and do a decent amount of damage. I believe 30 was the magic number, 20 or 30, something to that effect. But get a bunch of Pokemon that cover all types that are able to hit for 20 or 30 damage, and then play down Allergy, Panic, Vileplume, and then just start one-shotting things left and right. Whatever your opponent's deck is the Pokemon that you use. Like if they're using a deck that's weak to grass, you use Leafeon. Deck that's weak to fighting, you use Landorus, etc., etc. And so we just have a whole lot of Pokemon that are able to hit for just that magic number, because if you are able to have a 20 damage attack like Muddy Water, just for example, so you have a 20 damage attack that hits for a single energy, put a Silver Bangle on that, that's suddenly hitting for 50 damage, but then you apply the 4 times weakness, suddenly that 50 damage turns into 200 damage, and for a single energy with the Silver Bangle, you're able to one-shot EXs. Like Landorus-EX is one-shot by just a Vaporeon that has a Silver Bangle on it and an energy because of Allergy Panic. So that's really what this whole deck is around. It's just a toolbox deck that works with Allergy Panic, Vileplume, and everything is just dedicated towards hitting those magic numbers in certain situations and going from there. So yeah, I'm just going to go down the lines of Pokemon and talk about what they are and why. Obviously, we have 4 Eevee because main attacker of the deck. If you didn't have 4 Eevee, then you kind of lose out on your Eeveelutions, which comprise a pretty good chunk of the deck in terms of the attackers. It's actually most of the attackers, and also this deck can function as a pseudo vengeance deck. We're only running 2 Flareon, and we're only running 20 Pokemon in general, so it's not like a typical vengeance deck where you have like mid to high 20s. Actually, more around mid-20s, I would say, in terms of Pokemon, where you just throw a bunch in the discard pile. But Flareon, with the Silver Bangle and plus powers, can still vengeance for a knockout if you don't have a Pokemon that hits super effectively in a given situation. So it still works out. I mean, it's definitely Allergy Panic first, but then it also can function as a pseudo-vengeance deck where Flareon can work as a backup attacker in almost any given situation. So as for the Eeveelutions that we're running a copy of Espeon Prime because it has evolution memories. Espeon can use attack of all Pokemon you have that evolve from Eevee as its own. So basically you just have to have another Eeveelution in play, and then Espeon can use their 1 energy attack and hit for knockouts against Psychic weak Pokemon. 1 Umbreon with Confuse Ray. Now you want to make sure all the Eeveelutions that you choose are the ones that have the single energy attack, because otherwise this deck just does not work as well. You need Mons that can attack for a single energy, otherwise this deck, or double colorless in the case of Flareon, otherwise this deck just kind of clunks out and it takes too long to get set up. 1 Umbreon because Confuse Ray hits for that 20 damage for a single energy. Single Vaporeon just for the water weaknesses with Muddy Water. It's sniping as well, which is kind of cool. 2 Flareon because, like I said, fire type coverage, and also vengeance being very good in certain not in certain matchups, just as a good backup attack in general. And then Leafeon with Energy Crush for our grass Pokemon. Yes, we don't have a grass Pokemon. Like if our opponent just doesn't play any energy, then Leafeon can't really do anything, but let's be real. Your opponent's going to play energy. They're going to play at least 1 energy. Otherwise, you're just going to be able to chip them down very, very easily. And also, Leafeon is more for like the Keldeo matchup, and Keldeo is weak to grass anyway. Keldeo loves having a ton of energy on board, so it just kind of works out. We have Dragon coverage in Rayquaza, just with Shred, or Dragon Pulse, sorry, be able to one-shot like the Rayquaza EXs from Ray Eels. Wow, I completely blanked on what deck that was. Just being able to one-shot Rayquazas very easily. Landorus for the fighting coverage, and Hammerhead just being a good early game attack in general. 2 Exeggcute because this deck does rely a lot on puzzle pieces, but at the same time has a lot of discard cards. Like it runs 9 cards that you have to discard and use their effect. Double Exeggcute not only helps with vengeance, just getting 2 more Pokemon in the discard pile, but also helps mitigate that so we can keep all the puzzle pieces that we need for when we need them. 2-1-2 of Oddish through Vileplume, only a 2-1-2 just because, I mean, we do have a couple rare candy, and also that we only need 1 Vileplume, and Vileplume isn't necessarily going to be targeted down all that frequently. So just being able to have a 2-1-2, we only need to get 1 Vileplume up, and with the 1 Gloom and 2 rare candies, we are able to do that relatively consistently. And then 1 Cobalion with Righteous Edge to counter Special Energy Dex, but also Steel weak. That's right, it was Ice type that are Steel weak. As for the items, we have 1 Alpha Lithograph, the one that allows you to look at all of your face-down prize cards. I mean, you do have to write those down, so when I play this deck, I will be writing them down. And this also allows you to be like, okay, I'm up against a water deck, my Leafeon is prized, crap, what am I going to do? Alpha Lithograph allows you to be like, okay, my Leafeon is this prize, I'm going to go ahead and grab that. So it really works out very well for this deck, just be able to be like, okay, I need that 1 attacker, because I mean, this deck definitely is susceptible to having an attacker prized, because we're just running 1-ofs of a bunch of stuff. So if it is prized, Alpha Lithograph lets you be like, okay, there it is. If I can take the 1 knockout, I can grab this and swing it in my favor. 1 Computer Search, just because it's the best A-Spec in the game. 4 Junk Arm to be able to reuse our things like Silver Bangle, Computer Search, PlusPower, stuff like that. 2 Level Ball and 4 Ultra Ball as the search, as well as 1 PCOM. Running the 4 Ultra Ball over more Level Ball because Eeveelutions need to be searched out with Ultra Ball more often than not, I believe. Yeah, even Flareon needs to be searched out with it. All the Eeveelutions are not searchable by Level Ball. And also Exeggcute helps with that as well. And then 1 PCOM just because we're going to have a lot of Pokemon in our hands, just being able to shuffle 1 back into the deck. Just not have to discard a card in order to do that is very strong. PlusPowers help us out with the extra damage because, I mean, 1 PlusPower turns into 40 extra damage with Allergy, Panic, Vileplume in play, which is very strong. 1 Random Receiver so that a Junk Arm can turn into a supporter. 1 Super Rod is method of recursion because we need to recur attackers. If our main attacker goes down against a certain type of deck, we want to be able to get that back. 1 Switch in case our Vileplume or something gets active or something we have something active that we don't want. We don't run any Float Stones, so yeah, our opponent can stall if they're able to get the Vileplume active. 1 Tool Scrapper because if we lose abilities, we just kind of lose the game. 2 Beaches because, I mean, Beaches help this deck set up very quickly, relatively quickly anyway. And then 2/2/3 of N, Juniper, and Oak's New Theory as the draw support. You don't really want to have a lot of discards because this deck doesn't like discarding it all that much, but Juniper is still very strong for throwing Pokemon into the discard pile that you won't need. 2 Silver Bangle for damage output, and then 4/4 of the DCE and the Rainbow Energy. So yeah, I talked for way too long. I'm very sorry about that. Let's just go ahead and see this deck in action. Alrighty, we've got one against Henry with a Psychic, Water, and Grass deck. Whoa. Slight hiccup right there. Sorry about that. And we do, unfortunately, lose the coin flip. So we will be going second. And, of course, I start to get the hiccups as soon as I'm recording. We start off with actually not a bad hand. Because what I can do is Ultra Ball, throw an Exeggcute in the discard pile immediately, grab an Oddish. And, ooh, he's running a Feraligatr Prime deck. That's cool. So, not sure. I mean, obviously I know what he's using Feraligatr Prime. So it's probably like a Feraligatr Prime Keldeo, which is honestly just a different version of Blastoise, which is not inhibited by Garbodor, but it's limited to only attaching water energy to water types. So if you're not planning on using Mewtwo much at all, then I would highly recommend Feraligatr Prime over Blastoise, as Pokepowers, once again, are not shut off by Garbotoxin. However, if you do plan on using like Kyurem Black or Mewtwo, then definitely you need to run Blastoise as it can attach water energy everywhere. Starts with an Exeggcute, and he just messaged me, he's like, why do I always start with bad hands against you? I don't know, Henry. I do not know. He does get a Professor Oak's New Theory, which is better than an N for me because I get to keep my hand, and I actually really like the hand that I have, so I'll be able to Ultra Ball, get rid of the Exeggcute, and probably the Espeon Prime. Yeah, because, I mean, even though Leafeon will be my main attacker in terms of getting Okos, I think Flareon will also be very helpful as well. So I'll want that. And I even draw into another Eevee, so this is honestly a great first turn. Let's go ahead and Ultra Ball, get rid of both of these. Let's grab Oddish, actually. Yeah, let's go ahead and grab Oddish. There's 1 Vileplume in my deck. That means one of them is prized, so let's play down the Oddish, play down the Eevee. Rainbow Energy up my Eevee. Tropical Beach. And you know what, screw it. Let's go ahead and end, see if I can draw into something else that I can use next turn, which, I mean, I do. That's pretty nice. I'll be able to grab another Exeggcute if I want. So let's actually go ahead and propagate. Ultra Ball, get rid of the Exeggcute and the Rayquaza for I think I'll just go ahead and grab the Vileplume, because I can always just Computer Search for it next turn. And then I'll Tropical Beach for 2 cards, see what I can get. I need to get another Tropical Beach and a Level Ball, so I'll be able to get another Eevee out. Unfortunately, no Espeon. We see the Keldeo come down. Is he going to have the stuff to pull off knocking out my Keldeo turn 1? Because if he does, then that's just good on him. That'll be that'll be that'll be rough for me to try to come back from. I mean, granted, I will be trading 1 prize for 2 prize, so just a matter of what my opponent, or what Henry decides to go into. So he's going to Junk Arm. What is he going to grab? He's going to grab a Rare Candy, so he must have the Feraligatr Prime in hand, which he does. So wow, good for him. Able to get a Feraligatr Prime turn 2, and he's still just basically going to sack off and execute. He bicycles, going to get a couple more cards, which honestly is okay with me. As long as he just doesn't get as long as he doesn't get 2 more water energy, that's fine with me, and I'll be able to move on with it. So he does get the superior energy retrieval, so he will be able to knock out my Eevee. However, I will immediately be able to get a Leafeon this coming turn to be able to knock out his Keldeo. So we'll trade 1 prize for 2 prize, and as long as I keep the Eevees streamed and the Leafeon streamed as well, I should be okay. I think. But either way, Keldeo comes out, knocks out my Eevee. That's not as ideal, but it's still okay, because what I can do is promote this Eevee, attach an energy to it, and first of all, let's Level Ball. Grab another Eevee. Do I want to do that? Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I could have grabbed my other Exeggcute, but I felt like just getting another Eevee out, that way I can evolve it, would be better overall. So let's get rid of a Juniper and the Tropical Beach, because I mean I'm going to Juniper away my hand anyway. I need to grab the Rare Candy. Yeah, because there's only 1 in my deck. So let's just go ahead and grab the Rare Candy, go ahead and evolve Oddish into Vileplume, which will allow which is awesome because it allows my Leafeon to be able to one-shot the Keldeo if I can draw into it, which, I mean, I don't directly, but I kind of do, just because, I mean, I get the PCOM, which allows me to draw into my Leafeon. And I even get another Eevee as well, so let's just go ahead and do that, evolve into Leafeon, and then knock out his Keldeo with an Energy Crush. 4 times weakness. Normally that would have only done 120. Not anywhere close to enough damage to knock out a Keldeo, but fortunately for me, with Allergy Panic, we are able to do enough damage now to where Keldeo is going to go down. And let's just send him a quick smiley face that I was able to pull that off. Does play down the Mewtwo. Dang it, I put my... Yeah, I didn't think he'd play down the Mewtwo in this matchup, but I mean, I guess because he saw the Espeon Prime in my discard pile, then that thing, Mewtwo ended up being something that he could just go into, so that's quite frankly fine with me. With the... So he needs 2 more energy, he needs 3 energy actually, because of my resistance to water. No, he needs 4 energy total. Sorry, that was completely off. He needs 4 energy total with Keldeo in order to be able to knock out my Leafeon. And then Mewtwo, fortunately, will not be able to be powered up in 1 turn, or even if it is, it's not going to be powered up to the point where it can knock me out, because at best, he can attach a DCE to Mewtwo, which will not knock out my Leafeon. So that's not necessarily something I really have to worry about. What I can do is Junk Arm for something. I'm not sure what I want to Junk Arm for. And he actually does just decide to go ahead and take advantage of my Tropical Beach. So what I'm going to do right here is switch into my Eevee, evolve it into Flareon, because Flareon's still going to be able to one-shot this Exeggcute, and I don't want to put my Leafeon active, as it's going to be the thing that allows me to actually succeed in this match. So what I'm going to do now is Ultra Ball, get rid of the PlusPower and the Exeggcute. I don't need it this turn for another Exeggcute. This way I now have the double propagation that I can take advantage of in order to turn a Junk Arm into really anything that I want. But right now it's just a matter of what do I want to grab with Junk Arm. I mean, obviously I'll go ahead and grab the Computer Search, because the more you can use Computer Search, the stronger it is. And the stronger of a card it is. I mean, Computer Search is already insanely strong. It's arguably the best A-Spec in the entire Legacy metagame. So let's just go ahead and Computer Search once again. Honestly, I don't have anything in mind that I want to grab. Actually, you know what? Do I want to just Alpha Lithograph? Or do I want to Silver Bangle? I honestly don't know what I want to grab at this point. Because there's nothing that I want. Like, there's nothing off the top of my head that I'm like, oh, I definitely want that. So I think what I'm just going to do is grab a Silver Bangle and then put that on the Leafeon just in case, like, he attaches to Mewtwo, and then there's the Alpha Lithograph. So let's just go ahead and play that, see what prizes I have. Alright, I had to click on them. So Oddish, okay, hold on, let me grab a piece of paper and write this down, so that I do have so I do grab the right prizes if I need them. Honestly, like, looking at my prizes, nothing that I really need, so it's just Oddish, Vileplume, Rare Candy, Umbreon, so I mean, honestly, not a big deal. And so what I can do, do I want to level ball again, or do I want to just hold on to it in case I need to? Yeah, I'm gonna hold on to it. That way later I can just Super Rod for an Eevee, and you know what, let's just go ahead and grab the Rare Candy, because I mean, like I said, nothing in my prizes is particularly necessary, so I might as well just grab them in any particular order, because they are just going to be discard fodder for later. He is going to promote the Fraligator, and Fraligator is going to be not able to knock out my Flareon, but I believe Fraligator's weak to grass. But Leafeon will still be able to one-shot him back, and he is going to get another Fraligator setup, which is honestly a very smart play, just getting that set up so you can attack with this one while being able to attach things to, well, while still being able to accelerate energy onto your Mons. So very good play. He is just going to Rain Dance, put energy on the Keldeo, ooh, Lost Remover. Dude, do you even have room for Lost Remover in this deck? I just remember thinking that I never had room for Lost Remover in Keldeo Fraligator Prime. But I mean, hey, it worked out for him, so who am I to say anything about that? He is just going to keep Rain Dancing, put energy onto the Keldeos. I mean, at this point, I don't even need the Allergy Panic in order to be able to one-shot the Fraligator. I mean, that's just how it's going to happen. Does grab the Totodile. Is he just going to get rid of it? Yeah, he's going to get rid of the Totodile and the Crocodile. I mean, he could have double propagated once again, but his best play was to just thin his deck a little more. Wow, he's running low on cards. I have 17 left in my deck. He only has 6. So maybe Deck Out could be a realistic win con for me. Actually, no, what am I saying? Deck Out, I should be able to win before Deck Out. In fact, I hope I'm able to win before Deck Out, because if he's able to get 5 turns of attacks off at this point, then I'm just kind of screwed and I will lose. So I definitely don't want that to happen. So I'll probably just go all out with what I was planning to do and just keep trying to knock out like the Fraligators and the Keldeos. He is going to power up another Keldeo. So yeah, this is actually completely fine with me. Yeah, I'm all good with this, all things considered. He's going to play another energy onto Keldeo. Going to be able to knock out my Flareon very easily. Oh, no. Do not go. Okay, good. I was about to say, do not go for my Leafeon, because Leafeon is what I need. If he takes out Leafeon, then he will be able to win the game, I think, just because if I knock out another Mon with Leafeon, then I should be okay. Okay, don't have another Junk Arm. Do not have another Junk Arm. Dang it. He probably has another Junk Arm. Man, what is... Henry, I think you love Reversal more than I do. I've started to get rid of it and cut it down a little bit more in my lists. But, I mean, I guess if it works for you, then go for it. Please do not get heads. Please do not reward him for running Reversal. Unfortunately, he gets heads. Brings up Vileplume. Why is he bringing up Vileplume? And then that's going to do a whopping 40 damage. Okay. That did nothing. Wow. Whew. That did... Wow, that did... Oh, it's so little. So what I can do this turn is I can Junk Arm. Well, first of all, let's Level Ball. See if there's anything. Not really. I mean, there's Oak and N. There is a Random Receiver. So let's grab the Gloom. And then Junk Arm. I think I want to thin down a little bit more right now. Junk Arm, get rid of Cobalion and Flareon for a Computer Search. Is that what I want to do, or do I want to grab the switch? Because I could switch, knock out the Fraligator, but then he immediately has a response. And Keldeo, and I will be relying on top decks. So what I think I'm actually going to do is just Computer Search for the Oak's new theory. Yes, this limits the possibility of Vileplume being able to come out of the active spot, which it actually is actually the case. Vileplume's not going to be able to get out of the active this turn. So let's just go ahead and do that. Random Receiver, get an N for next turn, and then I could get rid of... Actually, you know what? Let's just Tropical Beach, see if I can get a couple more cards, and I get a Junk Arm, which will allow me to switch out while still having a supporter for this coming turn. So that's exactly what I wanted. The ability to get Vileplume out of the active, but also not be stuck in the coming turn. So yeah, he definitely can knock Vileplume out this coming turn, but at this point he has so much energy on board that Leafeon will still be able to get the knockout regardless. So he's going to rush in with his Keldeo, may be able to knock me out. I think he needs... Does he have enough? Oh, 110, sorry, I was thinking that 4 energy only did 110, not 130. But what this does allow me to do is go immediately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, not quite, and then 9, 10 with Vileplume, so not able to quite knock it out yet. Man, if I had the Silver Bangle on the Flareon, that would have been nice. Yeah, definitely thought that through wrong. But what I can do... How do I want to do this? So let's go ahead and Junk Arm. Get rid of N in the Vaporeon, because N is really not going to help me much at all this game. Grab a Level Ball. Grab a Level Ball for Eevee later if I need it. Actually, wait, Leafeon has 100. Ah, crap. What I should have just done is grab... I mean, I had the double Exeggcute. I don't know why I grabbed the Level Ball, because Leafeon has 100 HP. I'm not going to be able to grab it with a... just a Level Ball. I would have needed an Ultra Ball or Computer Search. I mean, literally, I had zero reason not to grab Computer Search right there because of the 2 Exeggcute that I have in the discard pile, mitigating all forms of discard that I really would have to even worry about at all. And then plus, I would have been able to throw Vileplume and Oddish in the discard pile as well. That way, even if Henry did knock out my Leafeon, I still would be able to throw 2 more in there. And then with the plus power, I think I would have been able to knock out Keldeo with Vengeance. So that was... Yeah, that's a very, very bad play on my part. I mean, I really don't know what I was thinking right there. Those are the type of plays that really bug me, because at the time I think they're right, but it's just such a bad play. I mean, it was really just because the reason I grabbed Level Ball over Computer Search was because I didn't want to click. The reason I grabbed Level Ball Computer Search was because I didn't want to have to click Propagation twice. So, I mean, it literally was just laziness. And luckily my laziness does not come back to bite me as I do top deck into my into another Junk Arm. I mean, again, still just a very, very dumb play by me. And now I'm going to Propagate just to make sure. I mean, I should have done that last turn. But now with the Super Rod, I was able to throw the Leafeon back in the deck. Let's Junk Arm for the... Wait, what am I doing? Junk Arm for the PCOM, because I have the Vileplume in my hand. Just a couple less clicks, and even though I am taking a little bit of a lazier way out in this play too, I made sure that I didn't screw up the same way that I did last time. So let's just go ahead and PCOM, grab the Leafeon, and this will allow me to... Actually, hold on one sec. Let me go ahead and give him a well played. You have a good deck. Just to, you know, be a little friendly towards the end, and we are able to knock out the Keldeo with an Energy Crush from Leafeon, even without the Vileplume doing... Oh my gosh, we did 1400 damage. That is awesome. What was my highest? Wow, my biggest attack was 500 damage. That is absolutely crazy. That's really, really awesome. We were able to do so much with Allergy Panic. I think... What was that on? Was that just on a Fraligator that I was able to do that much? It might have been. Yeah, I think it was on... No, it was on the Keldeo. No, that might have just been on the Keldeo right then. No. Either way, able to do 1,400 damage overall and 500 in a single attack. That was a really, really, really fun game, Henry. That was... You brought an awesome deck. I mean, Feraligatr Prime Keldeo is one that I've been wanting to try for a while. I mean, I've tried it on other occasions, but I just haven't gotten around to making a video on it. But either way, Allergy Panic was able to overcome Keldeo just with that 4 times weakness instead of 2 times. That really does change a lot of calcs and was really allowing me to take out the Keldeo early, which set the tone for the game. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And this is Styx signing out. Why not? See you guys.